Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do.
Hi, Dan. My name is Lana Ashby-Rowder, and I'm the founder of Looking Glass. It's a personal styling platform where we combine closet scanning software, AI, and live stylists to help people get dressed every day. We're headquartered in Austin, Texas, but I'm originally from Nebraska, so I'm spending my summer up here as we do every summer so we can have good family time, and it's really the best of both worlds.
Awesome. So I'm just curious more about your background. Like, how did you kind of come up with this idea or like get into this business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd always loved fashion and style, but I decided to go into nursing was my other love. So I became a nurse. And after I stayed home to have kids and kind of stopped working at the hospital for a while, I found this huge need in the market, need for myself. And the problem, I think is massive. And it's after people have lifestyle changes or body changes or career shifts, there's a huge overwhelm and not knowing what to wear, what's appropriate, wanting to find help. And there wasn't a lot of options out there besides people that were wanting to sell more and more and more clothes. So I eventually got my personal styling certification, and others and friends were just reaching out, asking me for advice on what to wear to a job interview, what to wear to a date, all of these things. And they would text me questions and upload selfies. And then it just naturally kind of spiraled into this platform, Looking Glass, where we do just that. We help to, dress the everyday person for their everyday events like job interviews, dates, book club, whatever it is, so that they feel good in what they're wearing and they go out there and, can live their best life.
So in terms of like your customers, if you can share more about like typical use case, you kind of like shared briefly, but yeah, like where do you typically see most people using your platform?
Yeah, this is super exciting for us because we're going to market with the millennial mom, the millennial woman, but we're seeing a huge uptick in men using our platform, which is super exciting. Anywhere from, young professional men that are maybe moving across the country for a new job where they're going to have to wear a suit and tie every day. There's have that demographic. We also have older gentlemen that are maybe either no longer married or widowed that are wanting to live their life again, go on singles cruises, go to concerts, go visit family across the country, and just, maybe want a fresh look or want to feel like their self again. And maybe they had a woman that previously dressed them or packed for them or told them what to wear for 20 plus years. And now they're kind of finding themselves in a rut. So really anybody. But again, we're a small bootstrap startup, so we're being super intentional on who we go after for our launch. And that's why it's a little more segmented, but eventually this will be for everyone.
Awesome. So I guess if you can share with their audience more about how it works. So somebody like hop on a call with a stylist and then they guide them and give them certain product recommendations. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So you hop on our website and you can buy a membership. We have different tiers, and the different tiers allow you to connect with your stylist different amounts of time throughout the month. So depending on how often you see yourself connecting. And then whenever you're ready to chat with your stylist, you hop on your profile, you click chat now if you want to text us, or if you want to do a video call, which is about a 30-minute FaceTime live call. You would click redeem video chat. Either way, you click the button that you want, you go through a series of questions, and that alerts our stylist that you need some help. And within 5 minutes, we respond and we're saying, hey, Dan, we got your form. Looks like you're headed to a job interview. Do you have any options? Are you thinking about anything? And you're like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have this blazer. And then we'll say, okay, great. Show us your shoes. Show us your pants. And we can just photo share and text that way. They're really quick and non-intimidating, 15, 20-minute text message sessions. So the guys really like that. They'll use them a lot for date nights. They'll say, hey, I have a date tonight. Does this look okay? And we'll say, yeah, maybe. Do you have a belt you can add? Can you tuck in your shirt? What other color shoes do you have? So they're just perfect for those like quick event specific, events that everybody's got going on. And then the video chats are more like in-depth, again, 30-minute chat where you're saying, you don't even know where to start. So we'll say, okay, show us your blazer, show us your shoes, and then we'll help kind of curate that look with you in real time using everything that you already own. So either way, love that we're not pushing products. We're not, forcing people to go out and buy something that they don't really love. That's one thing that myself and the team of stylists have really found is we've been in so many closets and people have enough shit. People have closets that are overflowing with clothes that have never been worn, price tags, things they bought on Amazon and didn't really like. So we're solving this problem of just like the overwhelm and not knowing what to wear. We're solving it by just offering our advice and not pushing more products.
So you're saying that, I mean, like, are there situations where somebody's closet might not have what would look good for the evening or for the event? Obviously, if it's last second, like, that's one thing. But if it's like, hey, like, this event is next week, what would that look like, if they don't have those products in their closet?
Yeah, absolutely. This is why, so we're developing closet scanning software. We've just launched our alpha version 0.5 model and we're testing it in-house now. And I'm really excited about this because once we are able to push this to our users, they'll be able to scan their closet and we'll be able to see everything they have. They'll be able to see everything they have. This will really help us when we do make those suggestions, make sure that we're suggesting, really specific things that are going to go with a variety of things already in their closet. So just being way more intentional about what you're putting back in, because there are those times where, like you said, somebody might have a big important event where they want something new, or they just don't even have the right kind of pairs of shoes because they lost a bunch of weight or whatever. And so we do make a lot of recommendations. Oftentimes we'll text links on the text message sessions, or we'll follow up a video chat with like, hey, this looks great. I think, adding a jacket like this in your closet would be great to have on hand for future things. So we do make those recommendations. We also offer, aside from our membership, we have one-time stylings where we do outfit boards where we just dressed a gentleman today who was getting headshots and billboard photos taken for a whole brand refresh and wanted some new stuff. So we create these boards, we pull links and pictures. All the client has to do is click and shop. So we do offer that as well. And those one-time services work really well with a membership because they can kind of jump back and forth when they buy them. Then they can, hop on the platform and text us and say, does this look great? Is this what you were thinking? What else can I wear this with? So really cool to have the option of both. But most times we find, especially for the day-to-day, people have a lot of stuff in their closet. They're not quite sure how to wear it or mix it and match.
Makes sense. So in terms of going to market, obviously there is, like you mentioned, several different use cases. Like, what has been like your best strategy to kind of get the word out? Have you done paid ads, events, cold outreach? Like, what does that, kind of look like for you guys?
Yeah. Social media is a big one. We've got, I think, 5,000 followers now. And so we're really just, I think, as the AI and fashion and the closets and that stuff really ramps up, which is what we're seeing, creating a trust factor around this, because I think bodies and wardrobes and closets is very personal. So, we're finding it a little bit more so for women, but I do have men too that are just as maybe insecure about their body or their shape, or they want to lose weight or whatever it is. So really creating that trust factor around, hey, these are the stylists. Yes, we are using AI, but we're real people with real bodies, and we can help you. You don't have to have a closet full of designer wear. You're going to look great and your Target stuff, but we can help you. So really creating that trust in that community. So we're starting with social media. We are excited to build up our community. So we are adding a community piece into the platform where people will be able to share outfits. The stylist will hop on and share tips and tricks and answer questions like that. So that piece will be coming soon, but also partnerships. So we've been really lucky and very fortunate to secure some big partnerships already. We did a fashion show with Goodwill here in Austin. So we are able to dress models using only sustainable secondhand clothes that we found from Goodwill stores, which was a really fun project for our team. So that was a big partnership. We're also, it's not public yet, but we're doing a big partnership for New York Fashion Week, which is in September. So more details on that soon. But yeah, finding other partners that are in the space or adjacent spaces and partnering with them. We've also done some work with Mom 2.0, Baby Center, AARP. People that have a good audience themselves, or everyday people looking to kind of level up and live their best life.
So in terms of social media, I'm curious if you can kind of expand on the channels. Is it like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above? And has it been all through organic or paid? Like, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah. So everything to date has been organic. Again, mom-owned bootstrap startup going on year 3 now. So we're super scrappy, and we've really leveraged our own networks. The stylists all have, mom groups or friend groups, or have come from, we have a stylist that's come from like Neiman Marcus, Kendra Scott, all these amazing places. So just really leveraging our own networks, and our community is amazing. They've come to events that we've hosted at J. Crew or Fabric in the Galleria in Austin, and we've had signups, and they really helped spread the word. So that's been awesome. We are on most social platforms. We really lean into Instagram. That's why you'll find a lot of the stylists posting tips and tricks and answering questions. Also TikTok, we do a lot of like style tips on there. A surprising one is Pinterest. So our community likes to go to Pinterest to search like what to wear to headshots, what to wear for family photos, what to wear to ACL or a job interview. And so we do a lot of pins and social media on Pinterest. The last platform that we've brought onto our kind of our toolkit is Substack. So we just started on Substack. We launched last week. Our Substack campaign, if you want to call it that, is called Naked Style Confessions, where a member of our community writes in with a question. Maybe the one we're answering this week, a little spoiler alert, is a client who lost 50 pounds on Ozempic and has some questions about what to wear. And so we just really come at this. It's almost like a Dear Abby, Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City kind of style. But yeah, we just answer real questions from real people. And it's mostly style, but some of it's just life. And some of it's things that like, hey, no one's telling you this, but everyone's doing it. And this is what we're seeing in closets. And, there's just a lot of, I guess, taboo and insecurities and things that maybe people don't want to talk about or ask. And so it's a really fun and safe space where people can just ask their questions. Myself and some of I pull in the other stylists as well from time to time to answer some of these questions. So it's been really fun to kick off Substack.
Awesome. And then you mentioned Instagram. So has TikTok also been something, or is it just mostly Instagram in terms of like main channels?
Yeah, no, TikTok is also, we were seeing a big TikTok upswing in TikTok. I would say Instagram's our main one, but again, on, Facebook and Pinterest as well. But yeah, Instagram is probably our most dynamic, where we get a lot of DMs and questions and feedback from that channel.
For sure. So essentially kind of what you said is that you've been leveraging, you have stylists or moms that have their own followings on Instagram, and then they'll post about your brand. And essentially it's kind of how you get people into the platform of, hey, like, listen, like we're a stylist or we're a mom or we're using this product or this service, you could say, and people kind of come from that.
Yeah, we're doing that. Again, that for us, it's not just one thing to go to market. It's been, leveraging our friends and our communities and our networks, having a few in-person things where people can come and like see us and hear, here's our tips, and we are real people, and people get excited to do those kind of things. And especially around the holidays and fun stuff, clothes are fun to talk about. But then, we've done some amazing partnerships. But again, those came through our networks and our communities. They're like, hey, you should talk to so-and-so that I know them. I could put you in touch, on an email. So our community and our friends have just been super helpful in getting us to where we are.
Makes sense. So obviously now we're kind of like at the halfway point here in 2025. So what are you guys like mostly focused on for the rest of this year?
Yeah. So Fashion Week is coming up. And again, we've got some really cool stuff on there. And what we're seeing is a huge shift in Fashion Week as we know it. Designers are getting a lot more focused on sustainability. There's a big conversation around fast fashion and what it's doing to our planet and just the ethics around that. And we're seeing designers put a lot of more focus on the quality of items that they're allowing into their shows. But also there's a whole new movement coming called Fashion Forward Week, which is another fashion week, I guess, essentially, that's going to happen in New York. And it will overlap New York fashion, the traditional New York Fashion Week. And that is going to be most of what we're participating in. It's bringing together, the tech, the brands, the designers, to kind of showcase like a full 360 approach. It's not just the designers that come up with it, but what tech are they using to cut the garments? What tech are we using in closets or for sizing or all of these cool things? And we're really excited about Fashion Forward Week. That's happening September 9th. I think it kicks off in New York. But yeah, there's a huge, as AI gets more prevalent, there's so much in the fashion tech space to help getting dressed or even shopping be easier. We're seeing AI to scan your body to tell you what size you should wear in a particular brand, all sorts of things in the fashion space for tech. So it's really exciting.
Makes sense. So if you could go back in time to before you started this business, what is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew?
Yeah, I think I would say just start. You're going to start and you're going to suck and you're going to fail, but you're going to figure it out. And you're going to, as long as I've been so fortunate to my community. I have a fantastic network in Austin of fellow founders that are not anywhere near the fashion space, but they're builders and dreamers. And they're also kind of, in the rink, fighting the good fight along with me. And I think it's really helpful to surround yourself with people who are also in a similar space, because it gets super lonely and it gets like, you hear a bajillion no's from investors and partners and customers. And so to surround yourself with people that are also kind of in the same battle has been amazingly positive for me. So I would say surround yourself with those people, but also just start. And I struggled a lot with imposter syndrome of, oh my God, what are people going to think? And they're going to say, why her? Who does she think she is? Starting a fashion tech brand? She's a nurse. She's a mom. But just kind of getting over that and doing it for you and knowing that you're going to fail and it's going to be okay. And just every day doing one small thing to kind of keep moving forward, I think is important, but just start.
That's good advice. If somebody's watching this and if they wanted to use your platform, wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing your website or socials? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is lookingglasslifestyle.com. You can see all the stylists there, read about us. There's an email, get in touch. Our handle on both TikTok and Instagram is at Looking Glass Lifestyle. So you can find us there as well. And our Substack is Looking Glass Lifestyle. So go to Substack. We are sharing some super cool stories. It's a whole different kind of vibe, I would say. Like it's a little bit spicy, a little bit exciting, but just super fun reads over there for the summer too, especially. So those are the 3 channels where you should reach out.
So, well, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. This was great.